Before Eve, there was Lilith, a woman created from the same earth as Adam, equal, strong, independent. But she refused to obey and was erased from biblical history. Or was she? Who was Lilith? A demon, a feminist icon, or a victim of ancient censorship? In the book of Genesis, the story is familiar. God creates Adam. Then, seeing Adam is alone, God puts him to sleep and creates Eve from his rib. That's Genesis chapter 2. But wait, back up to Genesis chapter 1. So God created mankind in his own image. Male and female he created them. One creation, two sexes, at the same time. So, who was that first woman? Jewish scholars noticed this too, and they came up with an answer. Her name was Lilith. Lilith's name never appears in the Bible's creation story, but she emerges in Jewish folklore, especially in ancient texts like the alphabet of Ben Sira, written around the 8th or 10th century AD. According to this story, Lilith was created from the same dust as Adam, equal in form and function. But trouble began when Adam demanded she lie beneath him. Lilith refused, saying, "We are equal, for we are both made from the earth." When Adam wouldn't listen, Lilith spoke the secret name of God and flew away. Lilith's defiance had consequences. In the myth, she fled to the Red Sea, a place associated with demons. There, she was cursed, said to become the mother of demons, a child killer, a seductress. 3 angels, Sinoi, Sansonoi, and Samanjalof, were sent to retrieve her. But Lilith refused to return. As punishment, she was condemned to lose 100 of her children every day. From then on, she was feared. Amulets were made to ward off Lilith from newborn babies. Her name was scratched on doorways. She was no longer a woman, she was a demon. So, was Lilith ever real? Not in the historical sense, perhaps, but in a symbolic sense, she was powerful. Lilith became a symbol of the woman who won't be controlled. She challenged male authority, claimed equality, and was punished for it. Sound familiar? Some scholars argue Lilith reflects ancient fears of female sexuality, of rebellion, of power outside the patriarchy. Lilith isn't named in Genesis, but she does appear elsewhere. In Isaiah 34:14, many translations mention a mysterious creature. The night creature shall rest there. In Hebrew, the word used is Lilith. Some translations render it as screech owl, others as night monster, but in Jewish tradition it was Lilith, haunting desolate places, preying on the vulnerable. Lilith predates Judaism. She appears in Babylonian and Sumerian mythology as Lilitu, a winged spirit associated with storms and sexuality. These figures were already feared long before Genesis was written, so when Jewish texts later absorbed these legends, Lilith evolved from a storm demon into a defiant woman, from ancient Mesopotamia to forbidden scripture. So why didn't Lilith make it into the Bible's final version? The answer may lie in theology and power. Eve was obedient. She was made from Adam. Lilith was not. She walked away. Including Lilith in Scripture would have presented a woman who said no to man and to God's plan for order, and that was too dangerous. Easier to demonize her than to deal with her story, easier to erase her than to answer her. In modern times, Lilith has been reimagined. Feminist movements have reclaimed her as a symbol of independence, resistance, and self-ownership. Magazines, literature, and even music festivals have adopted her name. To some, she's a hero, a voice that said, "I will not submit." To others, still a threat. Either way, she speaks louder now than ever before. Imagine if Lilith had never been erased. What would that mean for how we view women? For marriage? For authority? What if, from the very beginning, we were taught that the first woman challenged power and paid the price? Would it change how we interpret obedience, or sin, or equality? Lilith remains one of the Bible's most compelling secrets. She was never just a demon. She was an idea, a challenge, a woman who dared to choose freedom over submission. Whether myth, metaphor, or memory, her story endures, because sometimes what was erased is the very thing we needed to hear.